Hello everyone, welcome back to another Shoutcast match brought to you by Rekgoska. First thing I want to do is I want to give a shout out to Roberino, the blue Zerg spawning up here in the northwestern position. He sent me these replays in my Hotmail account at Rekgoska SC2 at hotmail.com, which is where I like to receive a lot of my replays there. Then I can get these games casted, so I'll be bringing you a few games that he provided me. Also want to give a shout out to Kino DBT. He's another co-caster for the StarCast community. He sent me a YouTube message a couple days ago talking about maybe possibly doing some co-casting together, so we might see a couple games provided by the two of us. There's a link to his channel on my channel page, which if you're looking here is on my channel page down towards the bottom. There's a link to his channel, so you can check out his games. He's got quite a few games up there as well. Mainly from Garrett and Kyle, but also a few from Mork and some other players, so definitely check that out. This game here is played on the Tal'derim altar on the patch 1.3. As you can see, we can see both players' resource counting in the top right corner, as well as I got their nameplates up here so I can kind of readily keep track. And we do have a ZVP match, and the Protoss player spawning here down in the southwestern position. And it looks like both players right now are just kind of scouting each other out and seeing what each other's building. Looks like this overload is going to be sending out to the right, so possibly heading into the wrong direction. I really like the way this map is laid out. I mean, it looks really stunning. I mean, they definitely put a lot of work when they were making this one in. We do have a spawning pool first going up here for Roberino, and for Farcraft we've got his gateway going down right now. So pretty typical opening so far. It looks like the scouts for both players are going to be getting into those bases pretty soon, seeing what they can see. And it looks like we have a little pylon harass going here by the probe. And this this drone here is relatively safe, as the gateway's not even finished. Sending the probe out here, maybe just do a little bit of harassment on there. We do have that spawning pool just about finished up. No gas yet for Roberino, so we'll see what kind of tech path he's planning on going. We do have that expansion going up for him as well, just as that probe's getting ready to scout that. And we do have that spawning pool finished, getting 3 more drones in production. A lot of chrono boost saved up here for our Farcraft player. Also a gas steal going down as well, so possibly just throwing him off just a little bit. But we'll see how he decides to spend that chrono boost. Looks like he's just getting a zealot out right now, as well as getting a cybernetics core put up. Queen on the way for Roberino. Yeah, it looks like he's let that extractor finish, so he's just going to kind of slow down the tech of Farcraft for quite a bit until he can get that taken down. Looks like he might send that zealot down there. Oh, looks like he's just keeping the zealot here, mainly just to block this entrance, so that way he can't get any Zerglings to sneak in and then disrupt his economy. I don't know if that's quite a complete wall off. He probably just used the probe to go click on the minerals so he can sneak through. And we do have a pretty fast robotics bay going up as well at the 4-minute mark. Possibly to get an observer out, or possibly to just start working on Colossus production right away. And we do have 2 Zerglings coming out right now. Supplies right now for the players are pretty much even. We do have the Zerg players droning up, and he does have his expansion up now. Looks like he's getting a spine crawler at that natural expansion. Putting it down here allowed him to protect his main pretty well from any kind of attack path up through this left side. Also should be able to protect this mineral line pretty well. And as you can see here, he's still working on getting that extractor taken down so he can get that second gas up. Meanwhile, warp gate production is in queue right now, and the robotics facility is just about finished. Also getting the second gateway going down and using his chrono boost on that gateway. Still sitting at about 60 energy on that Nexus, now down to 37. So we'll see how he decides to finish up with that chrono boost. Looks like he's just chrono boosting out that observer right now. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of tech paths these players go. It'd be interesting to see some kind of sentry heavy mix come from the Protoss. I watched a lot of that happen in the GSL, where he was just able to cut those armies down so fast and do quite a bit of damage. And we do have Roberino here taking both of these Elnaga watchtowers, so you'll see any kind of movement happening from the Protoss player. We do have an Immortal coming out though for the Protoss player. Not quite sure if that's the best idea, since we don't really see any kind of armored units going up right now. And Zerglings can actually do quite a bit of damage to those Immortals, because they can sneak in under the hardened shell and do quite a bit of damage. So we'll see how he decides to transition this. Maybe use this to take down some of these spine crawlers of the Queen. Meanwhile, that observer here is just getting a good scouting information. And it looks like our Zerg buddy's just droning up pretty hard. He's got 9 drones out right now. If we look at the worker counts, we've got 39 harvesters for the Zerg, 28 harvesters for the Protoss player. So that Zerg economy is really starting to kick into gear. And we do have a second Immortal coming out now for the Protoss player. So we'll see how he decides to push out. Looks like we've got a small push here. Happy to have just Zealots and an Immortal right now to see how much damage they can do. And it looks like it will not be... Oh, now it's spotted by the Zerg opponent, so he sees that force moving out. We'll see how he decides to react to that. Looks like we do see his reaction. He's got 3 more Spine Crawlers coming out, as well as getting his lair tech up right now, and 18 Zerglings in production, so he should be able to hold this off pretty well. It looks like he's getting a forward pylon put in so he can warp in some more units. And there goes the Queen pulling back, so taking a defensive position with that Queen. Alright, looks like we're just about ready to have that engagement here as he's warping in more units. And here's those Zerglings to answer this counterattack. It would have been nice to see him clear those watchtowers first, just so that way he could have gotten snuck his army in a little bit easier. And we do have that second Immortal in for reinforcements. And looks like he's just continuing to rally troops up here to the top base. We do have 7 more drones in production, as well as Spire coming up for the Zerg player. So I don't know exactly how well the Protoss is going to do too much damage here. The Zerg player's not too worried. And we'll see how this attack transitions. Doesn't look like he's ready to commit to an attack yet. Looks like he's just warping in some more units first. So that way he can get kind of the biggest possible attack he can get. Another Immortal streaming up. Looks like the Zerglings are moving down, getting ready to take out that pylon. It looks like the Protoss player doesn't like that too much, so he's going to try and take some of those Zerglings down. I'm surprised he didn't surround that Immortal to pick it off before the Zerglings ran down. And we do have an expansion now going up for Farcraft, but these Zerglings are going to get down there relatively slowly as they don't have speed. But the Protoss player is now supply blocked after losing that pylon. Looks like the Zerglings here are going to run into the main and do quite a bit of damage, uncontested down here. Looks like we've got a base trade scenario kind of going down. And we'll see who decides to win this. So it looks like some of those Zerglings are going to pull back and deal with this force. Looks like he's rallying drones down, so it looks like he's just going to be a complete base trade right now. As we do have this hatchery going down. 7 mutas in production right now. The only things that can really shoot arrows is this Stalker and this Sentry, so he should be able to repel this force with those 7 mutas. Looks like we have another small little engagement here. Meanwhile, we do have more Zerglings in the base, taking down some of these Zerglings. Probes being pulled off the line to take down those Zerglings, and we have some more mutas in production here. Here come the mutas, see if they can clean this force up. Switching back and forth here between the 2 engagements as we do have this base trade scenario, and looks like all the probes are getting taken out. Yep, there goes all of his probes, so these Zerglings will just have free reign in the base right now, only warping 1 unit at a time. Yep, and it looks like these mutas are chasing away these forces. Yep, and no GG by our Protoss player, but he definitely lost this engagement. Didn't quite push out with the right force. Saw that his opponent was mainly going Lings, didn't get enough Zealots or Sentries up, and these Immortals really don't do too much damage. I mean, it was nice to have those there to take down those Spine Crawlers and the static defenses, but for the most part, just really didn't have enough going on. Thanks for tuning into this replay, and we'll catch you guys later.